Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into the North Main Minute. I'm Joshua Dobie. A very pertinent and understandably anxious kind of question that we've been receiving here over the last several weeks has to do with the idea of the debt ceiling. Now, I'm not going to touch on all the details here. It's obviously a very politically charged issue in Washington, D.C., but just broadly speaking, what is the debt ceiling and why does it matter to us? Real quick here, the debt ceiling has to do with the amount of debt or the amount of treasuries that the U.S. Treasury is allowed to sell in order to finance, frankly, operations for our federal government. We are selling treasuries every week. There are weekly treasury sales in order to be able to finance things or to pay for things with regards to our federal government. However, there is a limit on the amount that the Treasury is able to issue unless there is an adjustment made by an act of Congress. So when we talk about a debt ceiling, that's really what's at issue here. It's not that we can't issue anymore or that the system isn't allowing us in some way, shape, or form, or that nobody's buying them or anything like that. It has to do with the actual dollar amount involved and that an act of Congress literally is required in order for the debt ceiling or the amount of debt that we're able to issue to be raised. And so that's what you're seeing on your news programs, in all of these news stories right now about what's happening. There is negotiation on both sides of the table to understand how much they want to increase the debt ceiling, and then if there are going to be any other corollary conditions associated with that. And that's really the back and forth right now. In terms of whether it's going to happen or not, just my opinion relative to where we are at this point, it is going to happen. The prospect of having the debt ceiling not be raised and then for the U.S. to default on interest payments for treasuries or for members of our armed forces and federal government not to receive paychecks or things of that nature, just simply not healthy for anybody. And my opinion, I believe that all the politicians know that, but they're going to try to get their proverbial pound of flesh through this negotiation process before they actually come to some level of agreement and compromise. So that doesn't mean that it can't happen. Anything is possible in this world, certainly when it comes to Washington, D.C. Anything is possible, but at this point, with what we see and with what we know, we believe that the debt ceiling is going to be adjusted and that we're going to continue to make good on our obligations as a federal government through the issuance or selling of U.S. Treasuries, which are debt. That is actually a debt obligation by the federal government. So we're going to continue to watch that. We're going to continue to update you on that if it's necessary. Certainly if things shift differently relative to how things are moving forward. But it's important that you realize what it is, first of all, and then just very quickly relative to how it may impact us. I talked about how federal employees possibly would not be paid. Interest on U.S. Treasuries that are outstanding may be delayed. It's those kinds of things which, again, would be very, very disruptive in our financial system. That's why I think don't believe that we're going to get to a space where default is going to happen. But unfortunately, we're running very, very close against that. And so we'll continue to keep you updated there and certainly with regards to any new developments that we may hear. If you'd like to reach out to us at North Main Financial Group, perhaps talk about all the craziness that you see in the news and the things that may or may not affect your overall planning and picture, we'd love to hear from you. NorthMainFinancial.com.